Whether you're an SDR, a BDE,
a commercial director, or a chief revenue officer,
this is the show for you.
The dirty word in business.
And yet, the lifeblood for any business.
It's the S word.
Sales.
This show puts the fun back in sales, where myself, Tash Rebuck, and my co-host,
Steph Melodia,
deep dive into outreach strategies,
review effective sales tactics,
and even cold call live on air.
Learn from us or laugh at us.
That's what we're here for.
Now, sit back and relax as we talk about what no one else wants to.
Welcome to the S word. Hello and welcome again. Thank you for listening in and hopefully watching us as well, because we look gorgeous today, if I say so myself. Welcome to the S word. We are a podcast all about the dirtiest word in business. You are here today with me, Tash Rebuck, and my unbelievable co-host,
Stephanie Melodia.
Thank you very much. And today we're going to be doing something that I have been dying to do ever since I met Steph, which was to understand how she's able to get the most incredible guests onto her podcast. When I was first introduced to your podcast, basically, I was like scrolling through and I was like, I don't understand. How have you managed to get meetings with like potentially the three most famous Simons? You've got Simon Franks, you've got Simon Squibb, you've got Simon Alexander Ong. But also, I remember when we first met, you told me that you'd just managed to book a podcast with Timo Armoo. And I actually then saw him when he was in here. You've spoken with Maya Raichoora. You've done Maxine Laceby, not done Maxine Laceby. You've spoken with all of these amazing people. Rubbing off on you. But every single time I see them, all I wonder is, how have you managed to get them? So, first question, what's your standard process? If you were just to follow a single process, what is the one that you'd usually do?
Eyes on the prize, bullseye, direct outreach to the specific person that you want.
Oh, you don't try like a VA, PA?
No circumnavigating, no trying to go, just go straight to the source. But if I back up for a sec, there's actually kind of a, what shall I call it? I'll come up with like a framework, like live on the air, but there's basically kind of a three-step process, a three ingredient to this. One is long-term thinking. Two is the short-term tactics. And C is the resilience, the persistence. Yeah. Did I start with like A, B, and then G and then 3?
Yeah, you went 1, 2, C.
1, 2, C.
Yeah, I liked it.
So the long-term side of things, now to preface this to our listeners, I do apologise in advance because it's annoying because you can't shortcut it.
Oh.
So part of how I am able to just email, DM, contact these target guests is because I have a bit of a reputation. I have a bit of a following. I have been around the block. I know a lot of people. And so there's a very, very high chance that either like my name might be a bit familiar or will be really only kind of a second degree like removed. There'll be mutual connections, and putting in the reps with the show as well, which has now been going for like over 2 years, consistently publishing every single Wednesday. The proof is in the pudding with that as well, right? And so basically, I think all of this sort of, the root of this long-term piece is the trust that you have to build, which you just can't shortcut.
Yeah.
The trust, the reputation, the proof in the pudding, the fact that like you've put in the reps that you're noteworthy.
But can I ask, was that in place when you first started the podcast?
Question.
I've never been a podcast interviewer before, and I'm really trying hard.
It's always a treat when the tables get turned.
It's like when you have to do a call.
Yeah.
Now I'm an interviewer in front of Steph.
I love it. So funny. You're doing fantastically. You're doing better interviewing me than I'm doing cold calling in front of you. No, it is a fantastic question. And this is where, again, this is when I'm talking long term. I don't just mean the 2 years on the show, because the platform that I did have before launching the show was my business that I'd been running for the previous 5 years. Yeah. I think maybe starting that business back in 2017 was harder. That was why I did have less connections. I had more of a kind of a traditional career. So that was more sort of putting in a lot of the reps, having to kind of overcompensate and build something from scratch, from nothing. But that consistency and that persistence. And so going back to your question, I did have that business and that network and the clients.
Yeah.
And I'd also been consistently posting on LinkedIn since 2019. So like,
That's impressive.
So when the tides turned March 2020 and everyone else seems to have discovered LinkedIn for obvious reasons, and then suddenly we had like the LinkedIn influencers and it's just completely changed. But happy accident, I was well positioned back then because I'd already been posting consistently before all these. I was at one point in the top 1%. I'm now fallen way, way behind, obviously. But that's what I mean, is there are all of these other efforts and activities and things that increase my profile, that increase my network, and not just online and social, but obviously we're both kind of hustlers. We get out there, we attend all these events. And so if I recall back, actually, great question, because starting the show in a different studio and everything, my very first, do you know what, my very, very first guest, so fun story, no one knows this, the very first one bailed on me at the last minute. So again, so like you're starting out with sort of nothing and there's no trust. What is, everyone's got a podcast, you know. The owner of that studio stepped in and I interviewed him, which was amazing and really fun.
That's so nice.
I'm really grateful to him to come in and do that. That was the first one. I think the second guest, this just links into like my previous efforts and work and everything else that I'd done. My next guest had won an award that I presented through Startups magazine, because I love doing this sort of stuff, right? Because when you strategize, it's helpful to look at what's already worked and reverse engineer that. I had contributed to Startups magazine from, I don't know, like, honestly, I'm going to maybe even 2020. Like I started just doing free contributions, built up a relationship with the editorial team at Startups magazine, was in their orbit. Again, going back to this key first piece of the long-term trust building, you build trust by delivering on your promises.
That is, I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I am going to go home and write that down as an idea, because immediately I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should like advertise in Startup magazine. That's where my client base is. But that's a way better way to
like
do
I'm
it.
pitching Entrepreneur Media to be a contributor there as well now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Stealing it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what I mean. So like if I just go back a step as well, I was at this conference, Startup magazine had a stand. I was deep in the midst of building this marketing agency for startups, saw this magazine and just locked in and was like, come hell or high water, we are partnering up in some way or another. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Whatever it is, like, I'm forging this relationship, set my mind to it. And so that's another little tidbit on this as well, is having those clear goals. Is knowing, you know, going back to those guests, is like, I specifically wanted each and every single one of those guests. I'll talk more about that in a second, but finishing off this. So locked in on Startups magazine, contributed, delivered on promises, built trust. They then got me involved as a judge with their Hustle Awards. I then presented the award for the most inspirational women of the year, invited her onto the podcast. So this is how you start. You've got to start from what you've got. You've all got something. It's like we did another episode, one of our very successful cold calling episodes, where we said we're using the really fun hook of being live on the air from the studio to get people's attention. And I asked you, I was like, well, we've got this going in our favour. What about others? We've all got something, exactly as you said, to work with. And then you build from there. I want to just go back to the AB3, the 1, 2, 6. So that's the long-term kind of piece. The short-term, just tactics, is what I've already answered with just going direct, finding out their email, messaging them on LinkedIn, Instagram. What?
No, but I want to know, okay, what is the first thing you'll do? You've decided on someone you want to have.
Which I'm still in that headspace, right? Like I'm still booking new guests.
Yeah. Okay, so you hear of someone, or you already know of them, and you go, oh, I haven't reached out to them before. What is the first thing you do?
I email them.
You'll just email them?
Yeah.
What's next?
Keep emailing.
Do you ever connect with them on LinkedIn?
Yeah, connect with them on LinkedIn as well.
Okay, so do you start by connecting with them on LinkedIn?
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, because this is so important, because you need multiple prongs.
Exactly.
I mean, you've already started 100 by doing all the stuff before.
Yeah, exactly. So getting into the real nitty-gritty, send them a LinkedIn request.
Message or no message? No
message.
Yeah. LinkedIn lies. They say you get a higher acceptance rate. You don't.
No message. And sorry, just linking to LinkedIn, this is where it does link into that long term, because if they do see my profile, my headline, not like...
And they see that you've got loads of connections with them that are people that they would want to, it helps.
It helps.
Really
it helps. Do you know what? The parallel here is sales and marketing.
It is sales and
right?
marketing. Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Up until this moment, we've mostly talked about marketing.
Exactly.
And it's
now we're going for the
like
kill.
It has to be together.
Marketing supports the salespeople to go in for the kill.
100%.
So it's all of that. That's the mix. Yeah, exactly. Send them a LinkedIn request, no message, because I'm not expecting an immediate acceptance. I email them straight after as well.
How do you find their emails?
Not that difficult. Either... So start off with just the domain URL of their main website, and then it's either firstname@website.com.
You don't do it at all.
So most of the time I get it right. I don't know if that sounds really cocky.
No, but it is. I mean, like, people don't do anything clever. They don't do like just first name and then like the first letter of the second name kind of thing. They'll always go first name, second name. Or if they're the founder, which is probably what you were always going for, it's just their first name, because when they created it, no one needed a second.
Yeah, exactly.
We've just totally buggered every like C-suite startup. Is like, fuck, I've got to change my email. Those absolute twats. You're welcome. Stop being so easy to get in touch with.
Well, building even further on that, C-suite have gone a step further and just done their first letter at. So you would be T at the S word.
Yeah.
That's another one. If you weren't already annoying you enough, it annoys you. The truth is, this is not the most time efficient thing to do. And if I am in a massive rush and I can't figure it out, then yes, I would use something like Bleep, who needs to sponsor us.
Yeah, exactly.
But the truth is like, how many different like combinations are there going to be? You know, it's either going to be first name at, first name dot last name at, first lettered surname.
Yeah, there's only so many options.
So I just go direct.
So that first email, what do you say in it? Do you have like a copy paste, or is it all bespoke?
A bit of a copy paste. I do bespoke as much as possible where I can. Yeah. And this is where I'm just being completely truthful. I always get them confused, the headwinds and tailwinds. Headwinds? The ones that work for you and against you.
I don't know.
I've got the headwinds I'm working with, which is the fact that my show is now number 18 in the UK business charts.
Yeah.
And, your great advice as well, which is very much, what is in it for them? Yeah. Why they're very busy. Why would they make time? So I talk about I make sure I mention the fact that it's a high quality production, that this has always been a top non-negotiable for me from the get-go as well anyway, that it's not just another fucking Zoom.
Yeah.
It's high quality production. They get a load of content out of it. It's super central London location, so it's convenient.
True.
And speaking to that profile build, like, what are they getting out of it? They're getting that visibility. And so a lot of the other thing that does work for me as well from their side is that it's one of the most effective growth channels for them, founder-led sales, personal brand. Like, these are all big trending topics as well. So there may be an inherent respect for coming on and doing like a high quality interview.
Yeah.
Then definitely the name dropping, like you said at the start as well, and being like, I've also interviewed Simon Squibb, all the Simons, Timo Armoo, Maxine Laceby, like also it's like the name dropping as well. And I think whether you're reaching out to land a podcast guest or any other indeed like high ticket sales, it's make it as easy as possible for them to say yes.
Yeah.
And so even reducing cognitive load as well, with being like, what I end the emails with is like, oh, we're booking in studio dates. We've just opened up like this slot. Would Wednesday the 21st work?
It's such a clever tactic.
Just make you say yes.
A slot or offer. I always offer 2 different options that they can choose from. Really straightforward.
Yeah. And
you just go, yeah, and I know I can do that. So I'll just say yes.
Exactly. Just make it easy to say yes.
Yeah.
End with a really easy, clear, direct question. Yeah. And if it can be a bit leading them to saying that yes, then even better. Quick interruption. We're sure that you are on the edge of your seats. At least we hope so. But just want to say, if you haven't already subscribed, then what are you waiting for? This is your opportunity. We are giving you a few moments to pull out your phone or wherever you're listening to this, hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you are listening. We're giving you that time now. It doesn't cost a single thing. And gang, honestly, it really helps us out. It doesn't cost a thing. Takes 2 secs. Hit that button and it is a massive, massive support. Thank you so much. let's get back to the episode. And then, so if I move on to the next piece, so we've sort of touched on the long-term, the short-term tactics, and then what leads into is the persistence. Yeah. Because as much as I'm sat here thinking I'm Stephen Bartlett, absolutely not.
I fucking hope. I would not be here for so many reasons. Unless you want to sponsor it. I couldn't even do a half sincerely.
Do the Korean, the K, the TSW, X DOAC. We love you.
Doesn't make me wretched at all.
So, as much as I am not Stephen Bartlett, I honestly don't. This goes into what we talk about a lot on the show, which we always need to talk about in sales, which is the rejection. And no answer is a rejection in of itself. So as confident as I sound here, sat here being like, oh, my show's number 18 and I've got 10,000 followers on LinkedIn and all the rest of it, I don't think I ever, it's like someone said, like, I don't think I ever get a response like straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for whatever multitude of reasons, but if I'm targeting these very high profile entrepreneurs who are like some of the busiest people in the world, and I think it needs to be said with some people, because I think that there is like, you get yourself worked up, you personalize the email, you figure out their email address and all the rest of it. Like, it's your own inner expectation management. I don't even expect to get a response.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone recently and they're currently job hunting, and they were saying that they sent out one application, and I was like, are you in Delulu land? Like, what the fuck? I know. Like,
even when...
And they were like annoyed.
The regular job, like, scape.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
That's an insane volume.
And I think where, you know, it would be a separate conversation on like, you know, where that comes from me or whatever. But I think my upbringing is definitely shaped. We both have this in common as well, right? Like, we're both grafters. Like, you've got to put in the reps, you've got to keep going, you've got to keep trying. And part of that resilience is like not having that expectation. Yeah. And so what this leads into is one of the best examples of this is one of the people that you name dropped. So was the hardest guest to nail. And I know how that sounds.
Okay. There's too many jokes that they almost got blocked in my brain at once. And that, I think, is maybe a good thing. How did you get him?
Was one of those first dream guests to have on the show.
Yeah.
Because the other thing...
Dream guest on your podcast? Please tell me you get that reference. No, you don't. You're looking at me like I'm insane. Okay, I'm going to send you a really weird TikTok after this.
Okay, love it. Okay. We'll insert this.
All the lesbians watching this, because I'm sure there are just so many. Because they're confused. They saw the title and they were like, oh, the L word. Yeah. They're like, yeah, I get that reference, but it's okay. I'll send it to you later.
Okay, we'll insert the clip so everyone else is like in on the joke.
Dream guest on my podcast? Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, he was your dream guest on, or one of the dream guests.
Yeah. And just to comment on that really quickly as well, is before launching the show, a lot of people were like, you know, I wasn't under any false pretenses about the work that would be required and if it would really be worth it, and the minority of shows that do get sponsorships and all the rest of it. And so advice I had from others was like, think long and hard about what you actually want this show for. Think about the purpose. Think about what you're going to get out of it. And for me, and the response has been this as well, which is like the guests have been phenomenal. Like, guests is the most amazing thing about it, which is awesome. But it's like any sort of success, any sort of goal, like you need to have that clarity to go after it. This is where, like, I mean, I love like manifesting and visualization and all this sort of stuff, because I personally find it so genuinely empowering to set yourself a goal, to try and like overcome any limiting beliefs, because that's the first, I think so many people stop themselves, so many people.
Yeah.
So like for me to sit down and be like a bit delusional and be like, who are your dream guests? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to aim high. Like I've told you about some of these like household names that I want to have on there. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's never going to happen if you don't put it out there in the first place.
Yeah. Actually, on the way here, I was listening to a podcast, and I won't date it because then you never know when I'm going to. But I was listening to a podcast that was amazing by Daniel, and he was saying said basically you had this similar conversation, which was just, if you like, the most likely thing to happen is that you don't get any answer, and you get the same thing if you don't do it and if you do it. So just fucking do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Also, like, how much more exciting is it, to be like, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, because what if someone says, yeah,
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
And what that links to with how long it's taken to get somebody like on the show is also, I have to, I don't know if I just tell myself this to better cope with it or how much truth is actually in this, but I am a much better interviewer now than I was before. Like, there's no way I can listen back to some of those early interviews, right? Like, super cringe. And that's a good thing because you've grown and you've improved. And so, in a sense, like, I'm very grateful for it having taken 2 years to nail, get him to finally say yes and come on the show, because I'm a much better interviewer for it. And I actually feel very proud of that conversation that we had, and I'm really excited to get it out there.
but what did you do to get it?
Yeah, so coming back to that. So, step number 1. What is it you want? Have that clear goal. Set your sights high. You miss 100% of shots you don't take. The direct outreach that we've covered, like, crickets, 0.
How many emails do you think you sent him before you were like, I need to do something else?
I could probably count it up.
Don't have enough time for you. I need you to
Oh my God, how
test
many?
your brain. And then you can check after and put the real number over the top.
I
So
will.
it's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
less than you.
This is just what I'm thinking. Is that is with you think you've followed up loads more times than you actually have. I mean, I'm gonna say a dozen.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I want to know.
Over a longer
That's
period
really-
of time.
Yeah, I want to know.
And the funny thing, and this really does feed in very, very nicely to the art of the follow-up and sales strategies, because we've talked about how difficult it is to keep up a one-sided conversation. And I've been able to find, I'm really impressed myself actually, like the number of different ways that I've been able to kind of create reasons
Like
to
things
keep getting
he's
back in touch.
Doing or...
Yeah.
I guess he's a busy bloke.
So one thing that worked really well for me on that was I didn't control it. It was very, very lucky. A friend messaged, really enjoying the show. Do you know who would be amazing to have on your show?
That's a good one.
I'm like, well, funny you say that.
What are you trying?
Screenshotted that message, put it in the email. Subject line was "the people want you," with just that screenshot in the email to.
And is that what got him?
He got it. That isn't what got him.
Oh!
There was so many. It got a response. There were so many things where I've like just about had a response, just about we're getting there, never happened. The response to that one was like a very non-committal, yeah, we'll make it happen. So I've had a lot of those. I've had a lot of like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, when?
Okay, so throughout the whole time, you've had little inklings. So it hasn't just been total silence. Because, yeah, I was like, wow, I'm
Was it
really
the
impressed that like 12 without a single response is like so impressive. But like, yeah, okay, so little bits of response.
Yeah, definitely. And again, with a bit of the delusion as well of like, you should be coming on this show. Like, I've had such great feedback. I'm good at what I do. Do you know what I mean? So there's also that level of like self-confidence you've got to have in sales as well, right? You've got to believe in it. So that was just an example of one of the like creative ways, like keep banging on.
Yeah.
And then the other key thing to also mention here, and this is really crazy, is I have been introduced by so many different people. And so this is also hilarious. So like people who have been on the show, guests, mutual connections. I've asked so many different people to put me in touch. And so I've had about 6 different like introductions to the same person. I've been like reintroduced him so many times.
What was the thing that finally pushed the needle over?
Convalescence.
Everything.
Of various, there's more to it. So this was all the building, like the emails, the bugging, the pestering. I then managed, and this is also a really good strategy for like, I've heard about like how people have landed book deals and how Simon Alexander Ong, one of the amazing guests you mentioned, he got people like Simon Sinek, another Simon, all these amazing Simon Sinek, Marie Forleo to leave like recommendations of his book. And his strategy is the same as what I'm about to say now, which is he turned up to events where they were speaking.
Yeah.
So thankfully, it was one of the people who put us in touch, was organising the event anyway. So I already knew them, already had that in, turned up. He gave an amazing keynote, pounced on him straight afterwards. My name obviously is familiar. being straight up, guys. This is going to be very easy to,
Misconstrued.
Yeah, 100%. I am very happily married, basically married. Pound straight on him. What worked in my favour is that he's just published his first book.
So he had something he wanted to promote. What's in it for him?
So this is where there is this is really important to mention, is that yes, there is this convalescence of different factors, the follow-ups, going to the event where he's speaking, all of these other bits, people messaging. And these can all be attributed to luck. But having developed my signature talk on hacking luck, this is where the key ingredient is the resilience and the fact that you keep going. Because it's not the fact that, I just went along and saw him speak, and just so happens that he's published his book and he wants to promote it, therefore he's more motivated to come on and do some promotion. It's the fact that I've been on his case on and off for 2 years.
Yeah.
And so the key point here with the resilience piece is, like anything, sales, entrepreneurship, any goal that you've got that you're trying to achieve, look, easier said than done, but the longer you keep at it, it's like these things are going to happen at some point. You just need to stick around. And I would genuinely have kept on going. And who knows, maybe he'd do a book next year and then it would be like, now he's got a book. But the fact is that you kept going.
Yeah.
And you open that window up for as long as possible for these things to happen in that time frame.
I think it all, look, obviously it all makes sense because it worked. And so you got him. And I think this is something we'll probably end up having our first ever argument about. Maybe we'll do it on air. But maybe I need to hear your keynote first. But it just sounds like you did every single thing. You worked so hard to make that happen. And it's one of those things that at the end of the day, you go, man, I'm so lucky. I can't believe I got it. But it was manufactured luck. And if anything, luck isn't the right word. It is the result of your hard work. Yeah, and it is difficult because it is years of building your brand and it is years of chasing up and following up. But what you've done is you've balanced quantity and quality. And that is often the mistake that people make, is they're sat here going, well, I've been sending emails for 10 years and no one ever responds. Okay, but is that email good? Are you taking little screenshots of stuff and being interesting, entertaining, you showing up to where these people are to show them you actually care? Maybe not. So, I think it's amazing. I think it's such a good insight. And I wish that I could in fact, I might have to interview you again on this because I'd be quite interested to hear who you haven't got. And then maybe what to do is...
I've got stories on that.
Well, let's record a session where we create a really cool, crazy out-the-box strategy that isn't email or LinkedIn. And see if we could get some really cool guests.
I love the sound of that. We'll tune into that one, guys.
So look, it's unusual for Steph to be on the interrogation side. I hope that you enjoyed that.
I loved it. What a treat. You're fantastic at this.
Thanks so much. I'll be coming in soon as the new host of Chatty. No, I will not. I'm not taking over. But look, hopefully all of you have learned something incredibly important here. I've learned something that is going to be incredibly valuable for growing my brand and becoming a thought leader and just a respected voice in the startup industry. So I'm super excited about that. Look, with any kind of sales, it all comes down to your persistence and to the quality and effort that you put in. Steph is such a good example of that. And you just have to look through the episodes and the people she's spoken to know it. So you've made some amazing learnings. Now it's time to give back to us. Look at your phone right now. There's a gorgeous little like button. There's a gorgeous little subscribe. Follow us. Let us know how you've gotten the most amazing leads. What's your process that works or doesn't work? We'll pop the email in the show notes. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for answering all of my questions, Steph.
Thank you for being an amazing host, and thank you for listening. Hopefully see you next time.
Bye.